So good morning, it's exactly 20 to 9. Let's get straight in to look at some other news stories this morning. And Sean, this is something that bubbles up every now and again. Is there talk of a possible reunion for a big TV show?
Yeah, so I think Alex talked about this last year when Jennifer Aniston said that she was still very keen to see it happening. Well, it seems to... It's been heavily implied that it could be on the way because Matthew Perry, who of course played Chandler, has done a rather cryptic tweet saying big news coming.
Okay.
And Twitter has
gone mad as a result. So a possible Friends reunion. As we say, this sort of comes around from time to time. What are we now? 16 years since it finished? I think it was 2004. Like so do you think it will ever happen? Because it has been a long period of time since it finished.
It's been a long period and there would be so much pressure on it to be amazing. If they did anything less than spectacular with that episode or movie or whatever it is they would go with, it would be a disaster.
Shorter time frame, but I mean, Cold Feet came back, didn't it?
And that's done very well, actually, hasn't it, in fairness? And Sex and the City did a couple of movies, although that was only, I think, a few years after that had finished. So what was the tweet again? What was the exact wording?
Just big news coming, ... And this was yesterday, and he hasn't tweeted since, so whatever news it is, he's needs to be getting on with it, I think.
It could be something totally unrelated, or of course it could be, well, we'll see.
Twitter is hopeful.
There we go. So what do you think that would be like, a Friends reunion? It's doing so well, of course, on Netflix. It's been brought to a whole new generation. Apparently youngsters who were barely even born when it was first on are thoroughly enjoying it. So we'll wait and see what Mr. Perry has to say in future days. Tim, what have you got for us?
Well, I could have picked a bit of a kickback on the Isle of Man newspaper's Facebook page. They posted a picture of the front page of the Examiner with the actual writing in the text of the lead story disguised in foreign languages, including Latin. Well, of course, people have translated it. And it's roughly translates as people who comment on news websites are always stupid and should be denied the right to vote. It's led to some comments, not a massive kickback, but one was, here's a tip, we're making a joke, don't make your own readership the punchline, tends to alienate them. But I've gone with, might sound as if it's straight out of a horror movie, but yarn made from human skin that can be knitted into human bodies is now reality.
Right.
So, instead of skin grafts, it's usually skin taken from elsewhere, or the synthetic drugs used already, which the body's immune system could reject. The French National Institute of Health and Medical Research in Bordeaux has been experimenting and come up with these human textiles that they say offer biocompatibility and represent a new generation of completely biological tissue engineered products. The lead researcher, though, from the project, I'm not sure if this was tongue in mouth or not, he says, with the yarn, any textile approach is feasible: knitting, braiding, weaving, and even crocheting.
Oh, crikey. Wow. Sounds like something out of Silence of the Lambs, doesn't it?
It does. I was just thinking that's a bit Hannibal Lecter-y.
Most definitely, but a big advance, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, big medical advance.
There you go. On to sort of slightly lighter matters from myself. Back to TV-related matters, and Last Tango in Halifax, the big BBC drama, I think Mark might have mentioned this briefly yesterday, is returning. Now, I know, Sean, you've not watched this, but Tim?
I have seen it, yes.
Yeah, it's the great drama. Sally Wainwright, who's written some great stuff over the last few years. Derek Jacobi and Reed in there as people in their 70s who were reunited. They were childhood sweethearts and they're back together. So the fourth series is coming back. The BBC not saying exactly when, but they have released an online trailer. It's all been done. It's in the can. It's all been shot towards the end of last year. They say Alan and Celia are now 7 years into their marriage, but have moved into a desirable bungalow with stunning views, but they're not quite seeing eye to eye. And it's great sort of kitchen sink, human, earthy drama. If you've never watched Last Tango, I think previous series are on the BBC iPlayer in readiness for the new series. And if you want to have a skeet at the trailer, it's online. If you just Google it. Timothy West is back as Alan's brother Ted. So I would imagine with the trailer being released, it'll be on our screen shortly. Maybe with a possible Friends reunion. You never know.
Maybe.
We shall wait and see.